to the Rob channel. So today what we're going to look at is potentially one of the biggest property crises, one of the biggest financial crises is likely to happen in China. So in this video, I'm going to use several articles to express my perspectives on the land developers and also the real estate crisis in China. Okay, so the first part would be, I believe, as we can see from this article, there are so many boycotts happening in China right now because the developers failed to deliver all these houses, these apartments to the home buyers. Okay, so what happened is a lot of people don't really understand it because it's very difficult. Right now, it's kind of difficult to go to China, and also in the same time, Chinese financial system is very, very it lacks of transparency, put it this way, and also it's basically operate and functioning like a black box. So it's very difficult for any outsider to really know what's going on. Plus, the censorship system is blocking the information to the Western society, and that is a very, very difficult. That kind of censorship system is causing a lot of problem to how Westerners perceive Chinese financial system, because if we talk about financial system, we talk about very difficult jargons, we talk about very kind of difficult concepts, and those kind of concepts, it would be really difficult to put them in plain and simple English, so ordinary Westerners can understand what's really going on in China. So I believe this is precisely the reason why I'm making this video, because more and more Westerners can actually watching this video to be able to understand, oh, this is what really happened in China, and so this is how the situation goes. So basically what happened is a lot of home buyers, they have all they already give all these money. We're talking about pre-sale money. We're talking about loans. We're talking about they're borrowing money from the bank and they already pay it to the house developer. But this developer, on the other hand, they kind of run away. They just take the money from the bank, and ironically, astonishingly, the bank agree to an extent which is ridiculous, because the bank allow these property developer to take those pre-sale money, which the money is supposed to be locked and to be, carefully monitored. All these money, all these funds deposited in the bank are not supposed to go to the house, developer's pocket directly, right? These amount of money can only go to the developer's pocket only if these developers have successfully delivered the product, which is the condo, the apartment itself, right? This is ridiculous because the bank, the Chinese commercial banks decided to, collude with all these real estate developers. They say, okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to take out all this money, and you can split some of the money, I can split some of the money. That just, we're not going to give them the apartment. We're just going to go away, run away, and we're just going to leave them all these horrible, all these concretes, so they will have no house, but we can, run around with millions of dollars, and we can spend it elsewhere. So this is what happened in China right now, and this is happening in a very large scale. So we have a lot of very, very angry home buyers already paid a lot of money. We're talking about 30%, 40%, and also we're talking about millions of RMB spent on an apartment, but they already spent all their parents' money. They have borrowed so much money from their relatives, and yet they are not receiving the apartment. They are not receiving the property. So these angry protesters, they come together deciding that they will stop, they will stop repaying the bank loan, right? Because in Westerners' perspective, this entire thing is ridiculous. Because in Western society, if a real estate developer tries to develop a house or a condo or maybe apartment, the money would be well deposited in the third party, maybe a trust, maybe a bank, a trustworthy bank, and that bank is going to give the money only if the developer deliver the apartment and the property successfully. Only if then they will receive the funds. But in this case, in Chinese scenario, this is not happening because commercial bank collude with the property developer. So a lot of people, angry people not receiving the house, is decided they're going to have a 断供, right? They're going to stop paying back their loans, which is reasonable, right? But there will be consequences if they stop paying back these loans, because apparently they are subject to Chinese law, because if they do not pay back the housing mortgages, they will be sanctioned by the local jurisdiction. They cannot buy a second house. They cannot get any financial loans from any banks. Their kids cannot go to good school, and even themselves, they cannot take the airplane. They cannot take any kind of trains. You're officially bankrupt, kind of, in Chinese society. So there will be consequences. But we can understand why these people, why these homeowners, they are so angry, is because they have dried up all their savings, but receiving just concretes and wastelands. Okay, if you're one of them, you'll certainly be so angry. So this is what happened in China, and this large amount of 断供, this large amount of this repayment freeze is going to cause series of big problem in commercial banks in China, because we understand all these cash flow, they are very important to support the entire economy system. Because the bank, if the bank is not going to receive all these mortgage payment, the bank is going to have a lot of bad debt. The banks is going to have a lot of bad assets, and the bank will be lacking of liquidity. So that's what happened in Chinese commercial bank system. And also, it's very important for us to understand that the local government, the local authority, we're talking about 地方政府, we're talking about regional government, we are not talking about like Guangzhou, Shenzhen, we're talking about smaller city, we're talking about tier 2 city. And these cities, they have these authorities, they are financially relying on the repayments of these mortgages. So once if this kind of situation cannot be eased, there will be more and more local governments, they are going to suffer financially, okay? Because the bank has no money and the government has no money selling lands, they can make no money, and that's the case, okay? And the second thing I want to talk about, the reason why we're heading to one of the biggest Chinese version of subprime mortgage crisis, is that right now, these property developers, they fail to give a lot of, deliver the house, they fail to deliver all these condo, and right now, I believe these builders could have their profitability plunged by nearly 70%, maybe potentially 80%. And one of the reasons is because right now the demand of Chinese economy system is very, very slow, and then because of the zero COVID policy, a lot of people lose their job. The people lost their job, they have no income whatsoever, and their life would be severely impacted by the COVID-19. Hence why they have no money to buy new houses. Therefore, and we have seen this hyperinflation thing, we're seeing these commodity price, all these material prices have gone up massively, which is reason why you have less profit margin in this housing sector. Okay, so what we're seeing, County Garden, this one of the biggest Chinese land property developer, they are going to have their profit plunge by 70%, which is reasonable. Okay, so we can, reasonably, naturally, if you think about other company, for example, like Evergrande We're talking about very leveraged, highly leveraged company. They have borrowed so much money from financial institutions. They have borrowed so many money from the banking system, and all these house sector. These developers, they are going to have a very difficult time. Okay, and the final reason why I believe the entire housing market is going to collapse and also have a this mortgage crisis is because um, the fundamental of Chinese economy is no doubt have been changed. Okay, so we're talking about uh, a reallocation and also a re-globalization future, because in the past we were get used to so many product and so many infrastructure built in China, and all these labors we are enjoying their cheap labor, we're enjoying their cheap cost, and therefore the Western products could have a very high profit margin. But because of zero COVID policy, a lot of foreign manufacturers and also a lot of foreign companies decided they are going to be out of Chinese market, right? One of the part of the reasons is because the gradual hostile emotions and hostile reactions to Western society, and also part of the reason is because the entire supply chain is being disrupted because of the zero COVID policy. All these factories, for example, like Apple or these cheap companies producing all these semiconductors, these factories, they are not going to function properly. All right, you're going to have a lot of headache because you are shorting of the energy, you're lacking of the energy, you're lacking of the lawful system and order for the factory to produce to function efficiently. Therefore, we are seeing Apple producing more and more iPhones and more iMac in Vietnam and also in different countries. Right now, these foreign investors and foreign companies, they are trying to build more factories out of China. They are moving more factories, manufacturers. They are moving more of their facilities out of China. And in this case, Chinese economy system is going to be hit on large scale, because that means they have no solid income. Their foreign reserve will continuously to go lower and lower, and that's the case. And I believe the entire Chinese housing market is coming to an end. And I believe we're witnessing one of the biggest financial crisis in human history. So if you guys like my content, please share, subscribe, and click the like button. And I will see you in next episode. Bye.